Cool.
Pan! I hope you're here, because I don't know where else to look for you.
Pan, eine Firma
Of course I'm
Pfanne
here,
hat.
Grace. Where else would I be but amongst the trees and the wild things? I really must thank you, by the by. Asterion is simply over the moon, and he's already repaid me with this select tome from the reliquary.
So you used me. All part of your trading favors thing?
Of course. I used you, I used Asterion. You used Asterion, Asterion used you. Is this not the way the world works?
Why not just tell me what you were after?
And risk nosy Hecate somehow digging it out of you. Perish the thought. I trust you got what you needed. More grist for the mill of your innocence, as it were.
Nur wenn der Stiel eine Flöte ist. Aber vielleicht produziert er in der Pfanner-Firma dann auch Eistee. Das wäre doch schön. Ich kann Pan philosophisch nicht mal stellen, weil er hat halt nicht Unrecht, ne? Es ist schon irgendwie am Ende alles irgendwie ein Austausch von Gefallen oder A benutzt B benutzt C, ne? Also es ist, man kann die Welt schon so darstellen. Es ist halt vielleicht nur ein bisschen gefühllos.
You know I did. Don't try to deny it.
I'm fairly certain I've yet to deny anything at all.
Ugh.
Grace, if I didn't know better, I'd say you were being fresh.
Go ahead. Tell me it's a coincidence that you knew exactly where to send me.
You have no reason to be suspicious. I know nothing of what happened to Calliope at the reliquary. I suppose the question at the heart of this is, do you believe me?
Ich bin neugierig.
You're enjoying this, aren't you? This tit for tat, back and forth.
I'll enjoy it if you're enjoying it.
Well, I'm not enjoying it.
Oh my, aren't you a delight? Even if you haven't answered the question, don't think I didn't notice. I've never lied to you, Grace, and I never shall. If you're looking for innocence, however, well, I'm afraid that's one thing I cannot provide.
What if I discover you're lying to me after all?
You'll do what you do, and I'll do what I do, and we'll see where that takes us.
Pandemie. Ja, und vergiss nicht, er ist ein Pandemie-Gott. Ha, ha, ha.
I hope it's somewhere good. Somewhere I'm not on trial.
Oh, my. You do know how to spoil the mood, don't you? If I can make a suggestion, live the high life. Throw caution to the wind.
That's your suggestion?
And why not? It's the same as when I first met you, Grace. You can enjoy being an idol. Simply follow my lead.
Ich bin hin und her gerissen, weil ich mag, wie er sich gibt. Ich kann halt seine Methoden nicht leiden, aber ich bin einfach neugierig, was da passiert. Wir müssen uns das jetzt angucken, sorry.
Why not?
See now, this is why I like you. Such a sense of the inappropriate.
Oh, kommt da ein Song? Oh.
It is an ugly business, living among the gods. You'll always twist an arm, even if you're trying not to. And so I say, let's do it. The world, it needs that guy who is prepared to move the pieces in from every side. All of the world's on the edge of a knife. So I choose partying, there's no need for strife. So dance, little Gracie, come, won't you dance? Only so much of your life's in your hands. Haven't I helped you? The rest is chance. So come on, let's have this dance. So what, the call was close. We're both alive and well. We'll live to fight another day, as far as I can tell. And even if you don't, and I expect you won't, I promise you'll be glad you spent the night with me. So dance, little Gracie, come, won't you dance? Only so much of your life's in your hands. Haven't I helped you? The rest is chance. So come on, let's have this dance.
I'm such a fool. I believed I meant more to you. Guess all I am is a piece, a pawn, and you won't care when I'm gone.
Don't be like that, Grace. We both know this is who I am. I can't change, so take it or leave it. I won't repeat it. I'm only here for the dance.
You don't have any hope for me, do you? You're just taking what you can get before it's over.
I've seen this story many times, Grace. I've told this story many times. And it always ends the same way. You're hoping to find Medusa, I expect.
Changing the subject? And how do you even know about that?
I'm just trying to be helpful, Grace. In my way. You'll find Medusa at a dingy little club appropriately named the Viper's Nest. Give her my regard. But do be careful if you call on her, Grace. Medusa is a hideous monster and should be treated as such.
Puh. Das war ein bisschen antiklimaktisch, muss ich zugeben. Aber fair. Ne? Es war relativ klar, was er will. Und im Grunde hat er jetzt das ausgesprochen, ne, was wir schon die ganze Zeit wussten. Er ist halt so und er kann nicht anders. Und ja, das ist... Man kann entweder damit zufrieden sein oder halt auch nicht. Wir quatschen nochmal mit Persephone. Aber ich mag seine Stimme so gerne. Wir haben den Pan-Song gefunden.
Back from your visit to the reliquary?
How did you know I was there?
Athena was ranting about it when I left her. She's none too pleased about you breaking the rules. Let's hope what you learned was worth it. Medusa was at the reliquary that night. You don't intend to confront her directly, do you?
I have to know why she was there. She could have been the one who attacked Calliope.
She could. And she could also attack you. I wouldn't put it past her. Still, while I hate to say it, confronting Medusa may be your best option.
You could come with me when I talk to her.
Trust me, if I'm anywhere within a mile, she'll have vanished by the time you so much as knock on her door. Just lie to me and say you'll be careful. Now then, unless you've something else to ask.
Die sind tatsächlich mal Gesprächsoptionen, die wir noch nicht kennen. Die hören wir uns mal an.
Are you willing to talk about Hades? If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm just...
Incredibly curious how I ended up murdering my husband.
that, yeah.
One might think that my hatred of Hades began when he kidnapped me and forced me to be his bride. But honestly, I hated my brothers and sisters for letting it happen. But Hades himself terrified me. He had a presence. I mean, one that forever made him the most important man in the room. And me? Oh, I was nothing in comparison. When Hades began doting on me, trying to earn my favor, I swooned that he might deign to think of me that way. For centuries, I actually thought I was in love, that the kidnapping was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's funny how our perspectives change.
Interessant. Also gerade, das war ja eine echt lange Zeit. Ich habe übrigens gerade einen Gedanken gehabt, was dieses Spiel braucht. Dieses Spiel braucht ein Menü, um die freigeschalteten Songs auszuwählen, das dich gezielt einfach nur noch mal durch die Songs leitet. Wo du einfach sagen kannst, und jetzt noch mal das Lied. Dass du im Zweifel dir gezielt einfach noch mal angucken kannst, wie verlaufen die Songs mit verschiedenen Auswahlen. Gibt es zu deiner Frage eine YouTube-Playlist? Ich habe keinen blassen Dunst. Also, da wird es sicher... es würde mich nicht überraschen, wenn es eine Liste der Songs gibt. Aber da kannst du ja dann nicht selber die Gesprächsoptionen auswählen. Kann schon sein, dass da dann vielleicht ein paar Versionen gesammelt sind. Das weiß ich jetzt aber tatsächlich gar nicht, ob es sowas gibt.
If you got along with Hades for so long, what changed?
I did. I grew up. I was a trophy for Hades. A conquest that he expected to remain meek and unchanging forever. He went out of his way to keep me small. I slowly realized that, he'd always been that way. Manipulation and arrogance behind the handsome sneer. We battled for centuries. I hated him, and I told him so, but he refused to part with me. He declared that I was his and would stay in the underworld where I belonged.
And that's when you killed him?
That's when I killed him, yes. The first time one idol had ever murdered another. Thank you very much.
Ja, JP, ich gehe auch davon aus, die 3 Songs vom ersten Song bei YouTube Music, das werden genau die 3 sein für die verschiedenen Eigenschaften.
I'm guessing the other idols weren't thrilled with you killing Hades.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. And Athena was furious that the most powerful remaining idol had been lost. See, this was before the war and before all the new rules. The chorus had never once contemplated execution, but they certainly considered it then. In the end, they decided it was better to humiliate me. They ensured I did not benefit from Hades' murder, and stripped the throne I had wrested from his grasp.
Which you weren't happy about.
I asked them where they were all those years while I pleaded for help. I was held captive, and what was I expected to do? What, lie down and take it forever because Hades was more useful to them alive? No. I stopped doing what was expected of me the day I slit his throat. May he rot in Tartarus with the Titans for all eternity.
Kann sie ja verstehen, ne? Also ich meine, ja, der Punkt ist wahr, was hätte sie anderes tun sollen?
How did you go from ruling the underworld to opening a nightclub named after it?
I won it in a bet with Dionysus, god of merriment.
Okay, there has to be a story there.
Well, the story is that he was a fool, but a charming one with many patrons. They built him a nightclub as his personal playground. And it was a grand old time for Dionysus in the 1970s, I assure you. But he didn't know how to run a business. By the time disco was ready to die, so was his stupid club. So I offered to make it profitable. If I succeeded, he would turn ownership over to me. He accepted because, frankly, all he wanted to do was drink anyhow. I was successful. The club became mine, and I kicked Dionysus out for never paying his tab.
Sucks to be him.
Dionysus ever sobers up, he might decide to be sore about it, but so far, that hasn't happened.
Okay, cooler Move, muss ich wirklich sagen.
Tell me more about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
We were.
And
if you had told me a decade ago that I would become close to one of the Muses, I would have laughed in your face. I always considered them Apollo's creatures. Calliope, Clio, and Talia. Vapid, frivolous gods who handed off their eidolon to any artist who took their fan. Every time I met one of them, they were someone else. I mean, Apollo called them the Sisters of Beauty, no matter their gender. Can you imagine that? That's such a stupid...
I never thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Well, we tend to seek out successors like ourselves, but it happens. With the Muses, it happened frequently. Everywhere Apollo went, they surrounded him like a gaggle of ducklings, just like him to gather his own fans.
Ja, mich interessiert noch so ein bisschen die Geschichte zwischen ihr und Calliope.
If you disliked the Muses so much, how did you end up becoming friends with Calliope?
Well, she sought me out. She'd become more and more unhappy on Olympus, so she decided to leave just as I had, long before. Calliope asked for my help, and I laughed in her face. Go ask one of your sycophant mortals, I told her. I mean, surely one of them has some threadbare couch you can sleep on.
Wow.
Typically, she was undeterred. She didn't just want a place to stay. She said she wanted to learn how to be truly independent from an idol who had mastered it. What can I say? I mean, I am a sucker for a well-timed compliment. I took her in. Apollo was furious. He and Calliope were barely speaking, but he was certain she'd come crawling back to Olympus. Oh, it made taking her in all the sweet.
So ein bisschen missgünstig ist sie schon hin und wieder, ne? Aber wer kann es ihr verübeln?
After you took Calliope in, that's when you became friends?
Well, no, not right away. I wasn't looking for a friend. What I was looking for was an opening act in the club. Calliope entertained here for years and then eventually turned from performing to attracting new acts. She was in her element. She and I, we warmed up to each other eventually. She was more capable than I expected, and I adored her furious rants.
Calliope didn't seem like the furious type when I met her. That's hard to picture.
Oh, then you didn't really meet her. She was an idealist, and nobody could ever quite live up to her standards for very long. Her brothers and sisters, least of all. The idols needed to change, she said. They were withering away in the shadows, diminished and unwilling to save their own skins. When I joined the chorus, she expected me to change everything, as if I could single-handedly override Athena. I was to be her champion, and together we would bring revolution to the idols. Well, I was yet another disappointment. She left the club, but I gave her a place to live. We were supposed to stay in touch, but you know how it went from there.
Spannend.
That's all I can think of for now. I'll see you around.
Oh yes, that's where I'll be. Around.
Das ist doch gut zu wissen. Also es bestätigt viel, was wir aus anderen Quellen schon gelernt haben. Aber ja, sicher ist sicher. Dann würde ich sagen, die nächste Herausforderung... Nein, wir gehen erstmal mit Freddy sprechen. Das haben wir, glaube ich, das letzte Mal an dieser Stelle nämlich verdödelt. Weil ich Angst hatte, Zeit zu verlieren.
Hey, hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Miss Muse.
Well, does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having. Everything else okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
Okay, das hatten wir ja tatsächlich.
I'll check back
alles
with you
schon.
soon,
Okay.
Freddy. Time for more mystery solving.
Dann Aphrodites Party. Und diesmal ahnt ihr schon, dass wir auch hier mal den anderen Pfad erkunden werden.
Fancy party? Check. Bunch of strangers? Check. Grace totally not dressed for the occasion? Check. Now, if only I knew what I was supposed to be doing here.
Hello, Grace.
Hi.
To be honest, I'm surprised to see you here.
Persephone said I should come to this. Whatever this is.
Persephone didn't tell you? Why am I not surprised?
Persephone said Aphrodite could help me and that she'd be grateful I came. That's it.
Persephone's not wrong, but that's not the entire story. You don't have any of Calliope's memories, right? No déjà vu recollections that aren't your own?
No. Should I have?
Not right away. For a while, you won't remember anything. We call it the veil. In time, the veil will start to lift, slowly at first, but eventually you'll remember almost everything Calliope did.
Und James hat also zu viel alte Gillette-Werbung geguckt. Hab ich? Okay. Wo kam der jetzt her? Hab ich was gesagt? Hab ich was verpasst?
That doesn't seem so terrible. Am I missing something?
Well, remember how old we all are. There are so many memories. So the veil lifts gradually to protect you. Eventually, it's like a flood. It becomes difficult to separate what's you and what's them, and all who came before them.
I have a hard time believing I'll forget who I am.
You won't stop being you. You'll just also be everyone else who isn't you.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
I understand. Take some time to let it sink in. If you like, we can talk about it later.
What does this have to do with the party?
Aphrodite hasn't been the same since we came to the New World. She has horrific memories of what she endured during the war. passing on her eidolon as a way to forget for a while. That's what this party is for.
Ach Gott, wegen der Venus-Referenz. Oh, okay. Das war jetzt ein Schritt zu viel. Für mein armes, kleines Gehirn.
She doesn't have any other options? Therapy, pills, social media?
If you think she hasn't tried all those things, perhaps you could ask her about them.
It just seems extreme, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. It is, however, an extreme situation. For idols, our memories can become a prison. This is how Aphrodite chooses to escape.
Okay, so what did Aphrodite want Calliope to do? What does she want me to do?
Well, knowing Aphrodite, she'll want you to make a production of it all. She's not here just yet. Until she arrives, I suggest mingling.
Mingling.
Yeah, mingling. Talk to Eros. Or we can talk more if you like. Just try to relax, Grace.
Sure, yeah. Relax. That's what this party is for, right?
Der kleine Lacher am Ende. Gucken, was Eros zu sagen hat.
Grace!
Hey, Eros. Nice to... Oh. Okay.
Aphrodite will be so happy you're here. It means so much, you have no idea.
Apollo told me. Calliope always refused to come to these things, right?
Yeah, no matter how much Aphrodite begged. Every time she does this, I don't know how to handle it. I almost want to run upstairs and demand she stop. Remind her that this never works. Sorry, I shouldn't unload on you. It's been a bad week.
I can imagine. The whole idea of this party just makes me feel uneasy.
I know exactly what you mean. Every time, Aphrodite forgets. At least for a while. But I don't. I remember everything. I'm there for the nightmares, the panic attacks, the days she doesn't even remember the war's over. And now I'm arranging her gathering again, so she can die again. And I'll watch it all again.
Das ist mein Trauma, Leute.
Is it okay if I ask what happened? I don't mean to pry, but I'm new. I really don't know.
I know, but it happened to Aphrodite, not me. It's not my story to tell.
If it's as painful to Aphrodite as it sounds, asking her about it seems like the last thing I should do.
No, you're right. Don't do that. What happened is that Brother Ares happened. He missed out on the first world-spanning war, you see, so he was damned if he'd miss out on the next one. He found some jackbooted mortals so full of themselves and their supremacy, and he told them about the idols. Then they came for us. Took us completely by surprise. Some they killed, but Aphrodite, her they captured.
Oh.
Ja. Oh.
Die Geschichte wird nicht cooler, wenn man sie ein zweites Mal hört.
What is my part in all of this? I'll help if I can.
Aphrodite loves drama. She always has. She wants us here to, well, to remember, to celebrate our history. She'll ask you to use your power as part of the celebration, Could you use it to inspire her?
I can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to, Eros.
That's not what I'm asking. I believe that deep down, she doesn't want to do this any longer. She must see it isn't working. She just needs the strength to try. Or I hope that's all she needs.